Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize not only your own emotions, but the emotions of others. It can have a huge impact on how you interact in the workplace and how you deal with conflict in both the workplace and your personal life. There are 4 levels of emotional intelligence: perceiving emotions, reasoning with emotions, understanding emotions, and managing emotions. This video will help you get an understanding of what emotional intelligence is and what it looks like to have high EI and low EI in the workplace. We will also look at various ways in which you can increase your emotional intelligence in order to improve how you deal with conflict. Now we're going to look at some ways that you can increase emotional intelligence. The first way you can increase emotional intelligence is by increasing positivity in your life. There are a few ways that you can accomplish this. The first way is not to jump to negative conclusions right away in a situation. Don't personalize everything. It's not always about you. And this goes with the second point, which is try to view the situation from the perspective of someone else. You have your own perspective, but someone else may have a completely different view of the situation than you do. Another way to increase positivity in your life is to look at conflict as a learning opportunity. You get to learn and gain an understanding of another person's perspective, and you can use the tools that you've learned from each conflict, no matter how terrible it is, in order to deal with conflict better in the future. Another way to increase positivity in your life is to try to find ways to motivate yourself after a setback. Don't look at them as the end of the road, look at them as the start of something new. The second way you can increase emotional intelligence is to manage stress. It's very important that you manage stress because if one little situation arises, it can become the thing that sets you over the breaking point. So there are multiple ways that you can manage stress in your life. It's important to have a tool for dealing with stress in the moment. So one popular tool that could be used is to do breathing exercises. This only takes a few minutes out of your day, and you can just take some time to breathe in for 5 breaths and breathe out for 5 breaths, and this will really help calm down your nervous system and really reduce anxiety in the moment. It is also really important that you are dealing with stress on a day-to-day basis. Even if you don't feel stressed in the moment, you should definitely have some strategies of self-care that you can incorporate in your life. Some of the things that can help reduce stress are regular exercise, as well as having a meditation practice. There are a multitude of ways that you can use as self-care activities, but also as stress-relieving activities. Another way to increase emotional intelligence is to clearly articulate what you are feeling and why to the other person that you are in conflict with. So this is important because it allows you to take a step back from the situation and to take a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach based solely on emotions. And this will also open up the conversation for the other person to also share their emotions in a constructive manner and not just a reactive manner, which can escalate the situation. It's important when explaining how you feel to use I statements. Instead of trying to say, you did this to me, you should say, I feel this way because of this reason. And this will help de-escalate the conflict because the other person won't feel that you are blaming them for what is occurring. This is important because this can definitely escalate the conflict because the other person will automatically become defensive, and this can halt any constructive conversation that you have built up to this point. So the fourth way that you can increase emotional intelligence is by becoming more self-aware of your emotions. This can seem simple, but if you're not used to self-reflection, this can be difficult to accomplish. It's important that you are aware of what your emotions are when you're experiencing them, so you understand that this is how you react when you feel a certain way. And people have different reactions to emotions, so don't be surprised if your reaction is not the norm. Another important point is that you should be aware of what your strengths and weaknesses are so you can utilize these. So it's important to utilize your strengths in de-escalating conflicts, and becoming aware of your weaknesses will also give you a starting point in order to work with them and hopefully diminish them altogether. In conclusion, emotional intelligence is important in both the workplace and your personal life. It is also important to continuously improve your own emotional intelligence so you are better able to deal with conflict.